My heart raced with excitement as I booked the quaint Airbnb cottage nestled amidst a picturesque countryside. It seemed like the perfect weekend getaway, a chance to escape the hustle and bustle of the city and unwind in a peaceful setting. Little did I know that my stay at the seemingly idyllic cottage would soon turn into a haunting experience, one that would forever change my perception of the supernatural. As I arrived at the cottage, the beauty of the surroundings momentarily distracted me from the faint unease that crept at the edges of my mind. The host, a cheerful middle-aged woman named Mrs. Anderson, warmly welcomed me and handed me the keys to the cottage. She mentioned in passing that the cottage had a fascinating history, but my curiosity was overshadowed by the allure of a relaxing weekend. The interior of the cottage was cozy, with antique furniture adding a touch of rustic charm. I quickly settled in, appreciating the tranquility of the countryside and the escape from the pressures of daily life. However, as the sun dipped below the horizon, an inexplicable chill permeated the air, and the atmosphere inside the cottage shifted subtly. That night, as I lay in bed, strange noises echoed through the walls. At first, I dismissed them as the creaks of an old house settling, but as the sounds grew louder and more distinct, my heart pounded in my chest. It was as if unseen footsteps wandered through the cottage, and an unsettling feeling of being watched enveloped me. Unable to shake off the eerie sensation, I tried to convince myself that it was all my imagination. Perhaps the history Mrs. Anderson mentioned had planted seeds of unease in my mind. With that thought, I closed my eyes, hoping to drift off to sleep. But sleep would not come easily that night. As the clock struck midnight, a faint glow emanated from the corner of the room. My breath caught in my throat as I saw the figure of a woman, her ethereal form glowing with an otherworldly light. She stood there, her eyes locked onto mine, her expression sorrowful and distant. Her translucent figure seemed to sway gently, as if suspended between this world and the next. The hair on my arms stood on end, and I couldn't tear my gaze away from the haunting apparition. In a hushed whisper, the woman spoke words that I could barely comprehend. It was as if her voice resonated in my mind, telling a tale of lost love and tragic loss. She revealed her name was Emily, and that she had lived in the cottage many years ago. Emily's story unfolded like a melancholic melody. She had been a young bride, awaiting her husband's return from war. But her beloved never returned, leaving her heartbroken and inconsolable. The cottage, once a place of love and laughter, had become a prison of grief, forever binding her soul to this earthly realm. Tears welled up in my eyes as I felt the weight of Emily's sorrow. She was a lost soul, unable to find peace in the afterlife, forever lingering in the cottage that held memories of both joy and heartache. Her presence was a poignant reminder that the past could leave an indelible mark on a place, and the souls of the deceased could linger, seeking resolution for their untold stories. As the first light of dawn broke through the curtains, Emily's ghostly figure gradually faded away. The cottage returned to its peaceful exterior, as if the haunting encounter had been but a dream. But the memories of that chilling encounter would forever haunt my thoughts, leaving me with an enduring fascination for the unknown and the supernatural. In the following days, I tried to rationalize the encounter, questioning my own perceptions, but the feeling of being watched persisted, and strange occurrences became a regular part of my stay. Objects would move on their own, and the atmosphere within the cottage grew increasingly oppressive. One evening, as I sat in the living room, the temperature suddenly dropped, and an icy breeze filled the room. The lights flickered, and the shadows seemed to take on a life of their own. In the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of a dark figure standing in the doorway, its presence evoking the sense of dread. As the figure moved closer, I could discern a chilling face, distorted and unrecognizable. It emanated an overwhelming malevolence that sent me into a panic. My instincts told me to flee, but I felt rooted to the spot, unable to escape the clutches of the sinister presence. With a deafening scream, I finally broke free from the paralysis, stumbling out of the cottage and into the night. My heart pounded, and my breath came in gasps as I ran towards the main road, desperate to put as much distance between myself and the haunted AIRBNB. In the safety of a nearby inn, I tried to make sense of the terrifying encounter. The malevolent presence I had encountered was like nothing I had experienced before, leaving me with a profound fear of the unknown. I knew then that the cottage was a place of darkness, where restless spirits lingered, their tales forever trapped in the walls. The haunting of the AIRBNB would forever be etched in my memory, a chilling reminder that some places harbor ghostly secrets and that the supernatural could encroach upon the realms of the living. As I returned to the city, I vowed never to return to that haunted cottage, knowing that some stories were best left untold and that the shadows of the unknown. Haunted Haven AIRBNB was a charming retreat tucked away in the heart of an ancient forest, promising an idyllic escape from the stresses of modern life. The online listing spoke of a cozy cabin surrounded by natural beauty, offering guests a chance to disconnect from the world and find solace in the tranquility of nature. Intrigued by the allure of a peaceful getaway, I decided to book a weekend at Haunted Haven. Little did I know that my stay would plunge me into a chilling world of ghostly encounters and unsettling mysteries. As I arrived at Haunted Haven, the initial impression was indeed as the listing had promised. The cabin was quaint and inviting, with a warm fireplace and rustic decor. The forest that enveloped the property exuded an ancient charm, and I felt an immediate sense of peace settling over me. However, as the sun set and darkness descended upon the forest, an inexplicable shift in the atmosphere gripped me. The air grew heavy, and an unsettling feeling of being watched pervaded the cabin. It was as if unseen eyes lurked in the shadows, observing my every move. Determined not to let my imagination run wild, I dismissed the unease as mere jitters and tried to immerse myself in the serenity of the surroundings. But as the night wore on, strange occurrences began to unfold. In the living room, the fireplace crackled with an otherworldly intensity, casting an eerie glow that seemed to dance with the shadows. I could have sworn I heard faint whispers carried on the wind, the voices indistinguishable but laden with emotion. As I lay in bed, trying to drift off to sleep, a sudden gust of wind rattled the windows, despite the night being still. The curtains swayed as if disturbed by an unseen presence, and a chill settled over the room, even though the cabin was well insulated. In the middle of the night, I awoke to the sound of footsteps echoing through the cabin. My heart raced as I listened intently, my ears straining to catch any clues about the mysterious visitor. But as I peered into the darkness, the footsteps abruptly ceased, leaving me in a state of uneasy anticipation. The following morning, I decided to explore the forest surrounding Haunted Haven, hoping that the natural beauty would distract me from the unsettling events of the night before. As I wandered through the ancient trees, the atmosphere seemed to hum with an energy that I couldn't quite comprehend. As I reached a clearing, I saw a spectral figure standing amidst the mist. The apparition's form was hazy, and its face was obscured, but I could feel its presence watching me with a sense of longing. It appeared to be that of a young woman, dressed in an old-fashioned gown, and her eyes held a haunting sadness. In a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of time, the woman whispered a name, Amelia. She spoke of a lost love and a tragic fate that had befallen her in these very woods. Amelia had been a forest dweller, a healer, and a guardian of the ancient trees. But she had met a tragic end, caught in a conflict that had forever bound her spirit to the forest. I felt a profound sense of sorrow for Amelia, her restless soul forever entwined with the land she had loved. As the day wore on, I encountered other spectral figures, lost souls of those who had perished in the forest over the centuries. Each one had a haunting tale to tell, leaving me with a deep sense of reverence for the history that lingered within the trees. That night, I decided to conduct a ghostly investigation within Haunted Haven, hoping to communicate with the spirits that seemed to inhabit the cabin. Armed with my recording equipment and an open mind, I sat in the living room and called out to the unknown. To my surprise, the atmosphere within the cabin shifted once more. The air grew thick, and a series of unexplained noises echoed through the walls. Whispered voices seemed to emanate from every corner, telling tales of love, loss, and unfinished business. In the midst of the investigation, the cabin's temperature fluctuated, and orbs of light danced across the room. The spirits seemed to be responding to my inquiries, confirming their presence in the most ethereal manner. As I reviewed the recordings later, I heard distinct voices speaking in languages unknown to me, their words laden with emotion and urgency. I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of awe and wonder at the encounters I had experienced, realizing that Haunted Haven was a portal to a world beyond our comprehension. As my weekend at Haunted Haven came to an end, I left with a mix of emotions, a sense of awe and reverence for the unseen realm that coexisted with our own, and a lingering feeling of connection with the spirits I had encountered. Haunted Haven AIRBNB had forever changed my perspective on the supernatural, leaving me with a profound respect for the unseen energies that surrounded us. I realized that the veil between the living and the dead was thinner than we could ever comprehend, and that our world was a tapestry of interwoven realities. The chilling encounters at Haunted Haven AIRBNB would forever be etched in my memory, a haunting reminder that the unknown could hold beauty and terror in equal measure. As I returned to my everyday life, I knew that my fascination with the paranormal would continue to lead me on a journey through the veiled mysteries of the world. Whispering Oaks AIRBNB was an enchanting Victorian mansion, exuding an aura of grandeur and mystery. Its sprawling gardens and elegant facade promised a luxurious retreat, and the allure of its rich history was difficult to resist. Drawn by the fascination of stepping into the past, I booked a weekend at Whispering Oaks, unaware that my stay would lead me into a haunting world of spectral encounters and forgotten secrets. As I arrived at the mansion, I was immediately captivated by its timeless beauty. The host, an elderly gentleman named Mr. Hawthorne, greeted me with a knowing smile, as if he held the mansion's enigmatic history close to his heart. He mentioned that the mansion had been in his family for generations, passing down tales of both splendor and sorrow. As the sun set and darkness engulfed the mansion, a subtle unease settled over me. The elegant ballroom, adorned with chandeliers and polished marble, seemed to come alive with echoes of the past. Faint whispers and the rustle of silk dresses teased my ears, and I was transported back in time to an era of opulence and extravagance. Determined to embrace the experience, I retired to my room on the third floor, where the atmosphere felt unusually heavy. The walls seemed to hold secrets, and a subtle chill permeated the air. Yet I brushed it off as a natural response to the mansion's historic ambience. As the night deepened, strange occurrences unfolded. Doors creaked open and shut, and the sound of soft footsteps echoed through the hallways. Each time I investigated, the eerie sounds ceased, leaving me feeling as though the spirits were playing a haunting game of hide and seek. In my bedroom, I felt an unexplained presence, an energy that seemed to watch me from the shadows. The temperature dropped, and an invisible force seemed to embrace me, enveloping me in a cocoon of uncertainty. Through the antique mirror, I caught a glimpse of a woman standing behind me. Her ethereal figure was cloaked in a flowing white gown, and her eyes held a profound sadness. It was as if she was reaching out from the past, yearning to share her untold story. The woman introduced herself as Lady Genevieve, the mansion's original owner, who had lived during the late 19th century. She was a woman ahead of her time, an intellectual and a free spirit, but her heart was torn between the constraints of societal expectations and her own desires. Lady Genevieve's tale unfolded like a tragic romance novel. She had fallen in love with a dashing artist, forbidden by her family's social status. Their secret love affair came to a heart-wrenching end when her family arranged a marriage of convenience, tearing her away from her true love. In the years that followed, Lady Genevieve's spirit had remained tethered to the mansion, unable to find peace in the afterlife. Her lingering presence was a testament to the enduring power of love and heartache. As I listened to Lady Genevieve's story, I felt a deep sense of empathy for her sorrowful plight. It was as if the mansion's walls had become a portal to the past, allowing me to bear witness to the haunting echoes of her eternal longing. Throughout the night, I encountered other spectral figures, servants, soldiers, and a mysterious man in a top hat, each with their own enigmatic stories to tell. The mansion was a tapestry of overlapping realities, where the past intertwined with the present, creating a haunting symphony of forgotten voices. In the morning, I spoke with Mr. Hawthorne about my experiences, half expecting him to dismiss my encounter as a figment of my imagination. However, to my surprise, he nodded knowingly and revealed that the mansion had long been rumored to be haunted by the spirits of its former residents. He shared stories passed down through generations, accounts of apparitions, disembodied voices, and mysterious occurrences that defied rational explanation. The Hawthorne family had come to accept the mansion's spectral inhabitants as part of their legacy, a testament to the mansion's rich history. As I bid farewell to Whispering Oaks Airm, I knew that the encounters I had experienced would forever leave a mark on my soul. The haunting tales of Lady Genevieve and the mansion's spectral residents had ignited a fascination with the mysteries of the past and the realms beyond our understanding.